Other banks may take most of the UBS Libor pain. That's the top story on today's Reuters Breaking Views. Here to talk us through this one is Assistant Editor Robert Cole. Robert, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi.
Essentially, the story is about how UBS's reputation has already been damaged, so it can't do much worse to it.
Well, there's a kind of... I think let's get this up front. These are still only sources' stories. I mean, they're so widely reported, we assume that there's a fair amount of smoke underneath... a fair amount of fire underneath the smoke that's here. But, you know, UBS has taken a big fine here, $1 billion, apparently. A lot bigger than Barclays for being involved in the same kind of libel fixing, we assume. And it seems to us that actually UBS is getting a much bigger fine, but its reputation for being associated with Libor perhaps isn't going to be hit as much as Barclays was by being first. So Barclays has taken a lower fine, but it's cost it much more in terms of reputation. UBS, to be fair, its reputation isn't that great.
Great in the first place.
So that's why its hit isn't as great. But it's also paying a bigger fine. It pays your money, it takes your choice. I think the fascinating or the interesting thing about this is who else is coming along, you know, and are they all going...
12 altogether, 12 banks.
Are they all going to get $1 billion fines? And is $1 billion is kind of the new benchmark for a serious amount of money to punish a bank with, and that several hundred million dollars or pounds or whatever is just not enough chump change, if you like. And then that leads us on to, well, you know, how are they trying to, you know, set these fines with reference to what sort of damage has been caused? So it's all really quite perplexing, and there's the last thing I want to do is feel sorry for these banks or indeed do anything to apologise for them for any bad behaviour. But I think that, you know, in a robust world, we need some logic behind these kind of fines. And, well, maybe it'll come out. Maybe we'll see some reasons why UBS is fined this amount of money in a kind of logical way, but we're not seeing it yet.
Of course, the other question is, how long is this all going to take as well to finally put a line, you know, across in the sand, if you like? What have your contacts been telling you?
Well, I think generations actually is the only genuine answer. It's not a matter of months or weeks or years even, but generations. And I think that, you know, since the dawn of time, bankers have been a public enemy of some sort. They have been the subject of jealousy and apprehension. Actually, I think that in the back end of the 20th century, bankers were gradually beginning to sort of get some sort of acceptance. And I'm afraid they've wasted a lot of that reputation by becoming involved in the ways that they have been. And you could ask me, you know, how are they going to restore that over those generations? Well, they basically have to prove that they have a straightforward, useful function in society, and they do. You know, we need money to be able to exchange and share our great gifts and talents, but we also need bankers to be able to provide money into the system and to provide loans and to help business to be grown. But they need to be very boring, as somebody else once said, rather than excited and too overpaid.
Right, well, we'll be watching to see when that golden age of banking returns. My thanks to Robert Cole. Click back in 30 minutes to see why the Internet of Things could mark the start of a third industrial revolution. That's Reuters on the Road at 11G. I'm Angeline Ong, and this is Reuters.